This is the system so far. So we got the four LV 6548s. All my Batrium equipment's up here. My bus bar, my shunt trip breakers. I got the batteries mounted up here. It's 64 280 amp hour batteries. Here's the inverters again. My breaker panels. This is going to be my main breaker panel for the house. This combines the output from the inverters and goes up into this breaker panel. And then this will be from the generator. This temporary wiring here, it's gonna end up going out the wall back here. This is just, I was testing to see if the inverters would charge, but I've got, the power is gonna come in just like it does here, and then it's going to, if I have this breaker on, this is a 125 amp breaker, if I have that breaker on, the power is gonna come down into this breaker, and I can run the panel on just the generator, or if I have these two breakers on, the power will go through the inverters, down and through the inverters to charge the batteries, and the inverters will be in line mode and power the main. So this is what I got so far. This is going to be my computer to monitor the whole system. I've had it working, but it's not all the way up and running yet. So what I'm doing right now is inverter number 3 right here. I've been having issues when I turned my battery breakers on initially. All 4 inverters turned on. The first 3 here were in, no, these 2 were in single. These 2 are the ones that I originally had in my basement. This one was set up on line 1, this one was set up on line 2. So when I turned them on, that's the way they were. I switched these 2 to 2P1, which means that it's split phase, and then line 1. This one was still on 2P1, and this one was on 2P2. I had a lot of trouble getting this one out of 2P1. I think it's Ian from Watts 24/7, which is who I bought these inverters from, was very helpful getting and suggested switching them back. I ended up getting them all on 2P2 by chance, and then they'd shut off right away, and I got stuck, and that's when I contacted Ian. Ian was very helpful, said get them back to single, and then you'll have the time to switch them to 2P1. So I was able to get them to single, and then I was able to get them to 2P, these 2 to 2P1, these 2 to 2P2. Everything seemed to be working, but then when all the AC comes out of these, so this is inverter 1, this is inverter 3, this is inverter 2, this is inverter 4. So 1 and 2 are here on line 1, 3 and 4 are here on line 2. And if when I had these breakers open, everything seemed to be working fine. And I could close either breaker and it still worked fine with one inverter, so only 2 inverters were, one inverter's on line 1, the other one's on line 2. When I measured across the breakers, I had around 1 volt of difference, but for some reason when I closed both those breakers, this 3rd inverter would fault out. It faulted out at different times. Sometimes it would last, most of the time it only lasted about 30 seconds. At one point I had it run overnight without faulting out, but then when I started messing with the charging, I shut the inverters off and turned them back on, and it got to the point where it wouldn't stay on again. And Ian had me go through a bunch of troubleshooting stuff. We made sure that they're all on the same, we made sure the wiring's right, made sure that they're all on the same firmware, and it came down to him sending me another new inverter. So I'm going to be swapping that inverter number 3 out with this new one that I just got. Again, he was very helpful in helping me troubleshoot. I didn't want to have to swap this out, but it came to the point where we both agree that that's the point, that's where we have to be. So I figured I'd unbox this inverter on video. I did it once with the first inverters I opened. I wasn't overly, I don't know, that video wasn't, it was all kind of in the background. It didn't turn out to be a very good video, but so I figured I'd do this one with the camera in my hand and show you guys what we have, and then I will do, I don't know if this will be a long video or might stop it at some point. Might stop it after I get this inverter unboxed, and we'll go through the process and then do another one of the process of swapping them out. So here it is. I got a drip. You guys could probably hear that in the background. This is going to be my geothermal lines over here. We got a bunch of rain last night and this morning, and my backfilling isn't done yet, so the water coming from my roof is running off and running down my foundation, and that apparently is the spot that it's coming in. We've got cables. I'm not using this cable. This is a communication cable, I believe, for hooking it to your computer. This is one of the cables that hooks inverter to inverter. This is a parallel cable. So this would be a paralleling cable for the communication, and this is your parallel cable for current sharing. So that I believe this is what makes it so that they share the same current and stay on the same voltage. These are cable glands. I ended up using conduit, flexible conduit, so I won't be needing those. Let's see. That's everything out of there. Here's my instruction manual, some I can't think of what those are called at the moment, but they're the connectors, the solar connectors. Oh, that's not staying on. This is where the screens are. This is just a cover for those screens. There's nothing in that hole. Okay, so see if I can find somewhere to balance this. My return shipping label. Send the old one back. she is. We have a couple stickers down here. Remove this label before installing cable glands, which we're not doing cable glands, we're doing the conduit again. Another one. And then your communication cables go under this cover here. So we'll remove that guy. Oh, that got, looks like that got damaged a little bit in shipping. Let's see if I can either just bend it back or if I have to swap it with the one in the inverter I currently have. So look at the project that is. Anyways, that's where the communication cables go that I showed you. Currently, I have them. They're kind of hard to see with the conduit in the way, but that's what this is about. That's covering the communication cables. So I think that's a good point to stop this one. And I'll get this opened up. I'll do that in the next one. I'll swap them out in the next video. All right, thanks for watching.